Hey guys, welcome to another video. This is going to be an unboxing and review. It's been a while since my last video, so please bear with me as I try to get through some of the technical aspects of this. Starting with the box, we have a wonderful shot of the model doing an action pose, showing off a lot of what you can expect to get out of this model. Top and bottom use a zoomed in image of the head, and the front image wraps around on both sides. The back of the box shows off a ton of images showing information about the kit, including the sticker used inside the chest, the halo effect, the shoulders, and the chest opening, clear parts for the god finger, rubber parts for the feet, the Corelander gimmick, and a lot more. On to the runners. Starting with E2, this is molded in a matte gray. It contains parts for the arm, the claw, as well as some of the other pieces for the core fighter, joints, hinges, and other things that are placed around the kit. B1 is molded in a high gloss blue. This contains a majority of the blue parts on the model, such as the chest and the main body of the Corelander, the front skirts, and the arm claws. D is a runner that is duplicated. This comes molded in a gloss white. It contains parts for the arms, the wings, the beam sabers, the ankle armor, tops of the feet, and other various armor pieces. F1 is molded in clear pink. These are the beam saber blades. Typically I'd just kind of ignore something like these, but they look fantastic and I think that they deserve a little bit of attention. They're molded with a katana shape with beam energy emitting from the base of the blade. The A runner, as usual, is molded in multiple colors. You've got gloss red, gloss white, semi-gloss black, and a clear green. This runner has parts for the legs, the arms, the head, a large portion of the red pieces around the kit, and all the pieces for the cameras and other bits. F2 is a gloss yellow. These are the yellow pieces for the model, the V-fin, the gold trim around the chest, claws, vents, things like that. C is a gloss off-white. This is a very subtle difference from the standard white that you saw before. It gives a subtle color separation in the model. It has parts for the waist, the head, the skirt, and the legs. B2 contains the remaining blue pieces from before. E1 is the larger runner from the E series. This contains all the remaining joints, hinges, details, and other pieces like the undersides of the skirts, waist, and all the fingers, as well as the duplicate pieces from the E2 runner. Besides runners, you're going to get two sets of rubber stickers for the bottoms of the feet, a large rainbow effect piece for the back of the model when you display it in hyper mode, and my least favorite thing, a sheet of pretty low quality stickers. In my opinion, for the cost of this model, you definitely should have got something a little bit better. Finally, you're going to get a gem sticker for the chest. So here's a look at the frame spinning around in a couple different poses. While we look at the frame, let's go ahead and give a shout out to some patrons who I have neglected in my absence from YouTube. Big shout outs to Nick, SD, Adam, George, Rex, Andy, and Rhea. Thank you guys so much for your patience and support these past few months. Another thing I want to note is that all of this frame poses and stuff are balanced on its own. I didn't use any kind of sticky tack to make him stay up. The head moves a full 360 degree at the neck. The neck itself is on a double ball joint and can move back and forth pretty far. The shoulder machine guns flip up to access the guns underneath. The trim on the chest moves loosely on its own to accommodate the chest armor opening for hyper mode. The shoulders latch on at the arm, you get a full 360 at the shoulder, and you can move outward pretty far. You get a little bit of rotation under the shoulder, but a full 360 underneath. You get double jointed elbows with a little over 100 degrees of rotation. Wrists are on a double hinge, and each finger on the gauntlet is articulated on a ball joint. The claws themselves flip out as they're supposed to mimic what they do in the show. The hands are finger swap, and the wrist is on a ball joint with a hinge and a peg that allows the wrist to turn a bunch of different ways. The thumb itself is on a ball joint with two separate segments that are articulated as well, giving you a massive range of motion in the hands. The stomach has a pretty decent ab crunch and can be flexed to make the model stand a little bit taller, although it looks kind of weird when you do that. Skirts are on ball joints that have a hinge to help them move back and forth. Back skirts are simply on a peg and rotate outward. Side skirts are on a swinging hinge and a ball joint, allowing them to move and make room for the leg as you move the legs out. Legs can move fully out and do full splits. You get full rotation under the hip, and the hip itself has a double joint to help maneuver around the skirts. You can extend the legs all the way forward but not very far back. You get a full 180 degree bend at the knee, but no kind of fancy RG sliding armor gimmicks here. The ankle armor tends to pop loose pretty often, but it's mounted to the front of the foot. Feet rotation is a full 360 around the ankle. Toes can flex as well as the lower foot. The back of the leg opens up to accommodate the hyper mode gimmick. The core lander can be removed and folded into a jet. Each wing is articulated on a simple peg, and they interlock into themselves to hold them into place in normal mode. One thing I want to note here is the core lander slots into the back on the chest. There's two little tabs inside for it, and if you're not careful you can bend or break them quite easily. I bent mine pretty badly because I didn't notice the first time I put them on. And the last thing is the wings themselves can flex back and forth to kind of give you a little bit more motion in the arms. So what do I think about the high-res God Gundam? Do I recommend it? Well, honestly, it's a bit of a hard sell. On one hand, it looks amazing, the articulation is top-notch, it's sure to stand out amongst your collection quite well. It's loaded with a lot of clever gimmicks and accessories, and no promise of a 2.0 on the horizon. It's definitely going to fill that void. But on the total opposite end of that spectrum, it's got such a steep price tag compared to what you build and how much is pre-assembled for you. It looks like a metal build that didn't quite make the cut to being a metal build. You don't get a lot of runners in the box, there's not a lot of die cast in the frame. The frame itself is pre-built, half the work is done for you. I essentially built this model in about one night. I had a good time with it, but I can't really say if it was because I was enjoying the build or if because I was excited of the build. I think the high-res God Gundam is an amazing model, it's definitely worth your attention, but maybe wait for a sale. I intentionally waited to dip my toes into the water for the high-res line, based mostly on the price. Styling generally wasn't my thing either, but if this had come out around $80, I don't think I'd be as upset. I do think I could basically go out and get a much larger master grade decals and possibly even paint for the same price of this model. If you picked one of these up, I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If you're on the fence, I'd like to know if I swayed you one way or the other. As always, feel free to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends if you found it useful or entertaining. It helps my channel grow and it helps me rank a little bit better in searches. If you're interested in other ways you can support me in what I do, there's a Patreon down in the description as well as a t-shirt store. But a like and comment will go just as far. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you soon with the next video. Later.